Jake Paul. All day, every day.
Why?
Just think he knocks him out cold.
Would you be willing to take the bet with Tyson Fury that's saying that Jake is going to beat you?
No, I'm not worried about what Tyson Fury's got to say. That's what I'm saying. It ain't even about the money. I'm betting on myself.
Yep.
I'm focusing on myself. I'm fully betting on myself. I ain't worried about what anyone's got to say.
So when I'm bouncing around the ring, jabbing, weaving, and doing all of these things, I know I can pick them apart and score points and make this a very, very big contest.
According to the reports, Tyson Fury stunned everyone when he suddenly interrupted the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul press conference, immediately shifting the energy in the room. With cameras rolling, Fury delivered a bold warning to Joshua, insisting that Jake Paul is far more dangerous than people think. He even claimed Paul has the power, discipline, and self-belief to pull off a major upset. Fury went so far as to say he would bet £1 million on Jake Paul to beat Joshua, a statement that sent shockwaves through fans and pundits alike.
There's been some talk about possibly Joshua using Jake Paul as a tune-up to fight you. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about tune-up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why so? What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's a spent force, and I think Jake Paul's on the rise. And I like his new heavyweight look. Bit chubby, bit bulky. I like how Jake Paul calls that full spectrum from featherweight to heavyweight.
Anthony Joshua has responded sharply to Tyson Fury's bold £1 million bet on Jake Paul knocking him out. Joshua emphasized that he isn't distracted by side bets or external noise, and that his only focus is himself and getting the job done in the ring. He dismissed the wager as irrelevant, saying he prefers to back himself rather than gamble or get caught up in the hype. Joshua made it clear he's preparing to fight, collect his paycheck, and move on, with no interest in betting games or outside predictions.
Would you be willing to take the bet with Tyson Fury that's saying that Jake is going to beat you?
No, I'm not worried about what Tyson Fury's got to say. That's what I'm saying. It ain't even about the money. I'm betting on myself.
Yep.
I'm focusing on myself. I'm fully betting on myself. I ain't worried about what anyone's got to say.
He did say he's going to put £1 million on it. Would you be willing to take that bet with Tyson Fury?
Respectfully, I'm not worried about what Tyson Fury's got to say, or I'm not here for any of that betting and nonsense. I'm here to fight, and that's all it is. Once I get the job done, I'm going to collect my check, cash it, and I'm going to focus on the next one. My bet is on me doing a number on him. That's all there is to it.
Jake Paul is confident that he can defeat Joshua, as he has stated that Anthony Joshua struggles against smaller fighters, suggesting a potential advantage for him in the bout. Analysts, including a commentator named Henry from a podcast, have broken down Joshua's fights against smaller opponents, noting patterns in his performance. While Paul highlights a perceived vulnerability, the analysis points out that Joshua's technical skill, power, and reach advantage generally compensate for size differences. The discussion reflects the broader debate on how physical disparities affect outcomes, but Joshua's experience and preparation make him a formidable challenge regardless of Paul's claims.
I'm going to tell you what Anthony Joshua definitely doesn't struggle, and that's against guys who are of a similar stature to him. When he won his first world title against Charles Martin, he was a taller heavyweight. Not taller than AJ necessarily, but a heavyweight of taller stature, and he got that one with a very simple knockout. It was one of the easiest fights of Anthony Joshua's career. He had a war against Vladimir Klitschko, but again, he was highly competitive and eventually managed to get Klitschko out of there. In the Kubrat Pulev fight, while it was a mixed performance, he did end up producing one of his best knockouts. Similarly against Robert Helenius, whilst AJ probably didn't put in one of his best performances again, it ended in another dramatic knockout. He was punch perfect against Otto Wallin, in my opinion, and he had that absolutely devastating knockout win against Francis Ngannou, who, of course, an absolutely enormous man with a fantastic chin, or so it seemed until Anthony Joshua got his hands on him. Even earlier on in his career against the likes of White, Brazil, and Molina, these were all taller heavyweights who AJ dealt with consummate ease. Of course, most recently, he had that loss against Daniel Dubois, but we can't say that Daniel Dubois is a shorter heavyweight.
Jake presents himself as a fearless contender, ready to take on any challenge. But beneath the bravado, it's clear he's aware of the enormous size difference he faces. He jokes about having to look up just to meet Joshua's eyes, yet he tries to project the same energy and confidence he shows before every major event. He wants people to believe that sheer confidence can carry him against a fighter who has held major belts and defeated top-level opponents. Jake frames the challenge as a lesson for young fighters, suggesting that stepping up against someone this formidable demonstrates courage and ambition.
Of the year, you, Anthony Joshua, how we doing?
Dude, never been better. This is what I dreamed of. This is what I manifested into reality. I'm here to shock the world, inspire the next generation, We're in the Heat arena. I'm a big Heat fan. Miami's on fire. This is my first pro fight was in Miami against Gibb. I'm bringing that same energy here. First round KO.
And the Schmo interviewed you there when you fought Gibb. It was on Fight TV. We've been with you along the way. Not very many times you're looking up at a face-off. So what did you make of looking up for one of the very first times at a face-off right here?
Just looking up at Daddy there and just seeing, how big he is, and just my eyes were kind of going into his nipples and stuff, which I kind of liked. And then basically I was just like, whoa, he's big in that. And then, I can't believe how tall he is.
Is this chain really on the line for the winner?
I don't know if it's confirmed, but I'm down. But he has to put something up too. There has to be something in it for me.
You say this is the biggest upset that's going to be in boxing history, right up there with 42-1 with Buster Douglas.
Yep.
What is the headline going to be when you knock this guy out and he's laying on the canvas?
Holy.
Matchroom CEO Frank Smith has sparked fresh controversy around the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight, warning that the event is less about sport and more about showmanship. He argued that, rather than a legitimate boxing contest, the bout will be a spectacle engineered for entertainment, not a serious test of skill. Smith suggested that what fans are getting is designed to sell and shock, rather than uphold boxing's competitive integrity. By framing it as serious entertainment, he cast doubt on how genuine or competitive the fight would truly be. Smith also said he remains hopeful that a Fury-Joshua showdown could happen. He referred to the bout as the biggest fight to be made, expressing optimism that by 2026, the mega clash will finally materialize. At the same time, Smith cautioned that boxing is full of talk and that not all proposed fights come to fruition, implying that while the idea excites fans, many logistical and contractual hurdles remain.
Sorry, just to silence all the doubters here. A lot of people saying this can't be real. Anthony Joshua going in there, it must be an exhibition, or Anthony Joshua's it's going to be choreographed and Anthony's going to carry him through a couple of rounds. I know Anthony Joshua. Just to silence all those doubters, he's going to go in there to do a job, right?
It's 100% real. It's 100% real. People asking why is it 8 rounds, not 10? Because I don't think it goes past the first round. So it's, regardless, it's quite irrelevant. I think he steps across the ring and knocks him out. But we're in for a bit of fun and everyone's going to be tuning in.
It might not be fun for Jake Paul. I mean, it's serious entertainment, is it?
Yeah, 100%. Look, I agree with you. I accept Jake Paul is absolutely mental for doing this. And I don't think he quite realizes. I think he's got people around him who actually are saying, Anthony Joshua's chinny. He said it in interviews. It's quite wild, but if that's the world he wants to live in, he'll find out on December 19th.
And Frank, to finish with, the plan is still sometime in 2026, AJ against Tyson Fury. And Turki Al-Sheikh's working on that, is he?
That's the fight we want to make. That's the fight we want to see. Look, we're all guilty of doing a lot of talking over the years and that not happening. So I don't want to talk too much, but that is definitely what we want to see in 2026. It's one of the biggest fights in the sport.
Joe Rogan thinks the matchup is wildly dangerous, calling it one of the craziest fight propositions in recent memory. He emphasizes that Joshua's size, power, and experience make him a legitimately terrifying threat for Paul, a former champion with Olympic pedigree and proven knockout ability. Rogan doubts any contractual quirks will reduce Joshua's danger, saying such measures won't neutralize his power or skill. Rogan has said that Jake Paul should see what Anthony Joshua did to Francis Ngannou, pointing to Joshua's knockout of Ngannou as a clear demonstration of just how dangerous Joshua can be. Rogan argues that Ngannou's defeat is a warning sign for Paul. Stepping into the ring with Joshua isn't just a challenge. It could end badly.
Think about Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua.
Boy. Well, realistically, it's one of the craziest propositions of all time. You take a guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, and then you're going to fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists in the heavyweight division. Maybe we should watch the Francis Ngannou fight so you could see. Let's watch that real quick, just so you can see what Anthony Joshua is capable if he's fighting someone that's not in his league. Okay, look, Usyk beat him, and he beat him twice, and Andy Ruiz caught him in the first fight and dropped him and stopped him. It was spectacular. Andy Ruiz is super fucking talented. Usyk is perhaps the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time. Maybe one of the greatest of all time in any weight class. Usyk. You know, and Usyk beat him, and he beat him twice. But Francis Ngannou is coming off of this fight with, like, go a little bit before that so we can see this happen. Watch this.
Highlights, we can't watch the whole fight.
So he drops him with a right hand early. And this is like 2 minutes into the first round. And Francis gets up, he survives. And then Joshua, check out this combination he hits him with. I mean, dude, the speed that he hits him with this, he's so dangerous, man. It's like you're dealing with a guy who's an Olympic gold medalist, and he's enormous, and he's got vicious knockout power, and he's got immense amount of experience at world-class levels. Just think about what we said earlier. Fought Usyk twice, fought Andy Ruiz twice.
Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen have recently voiced serious doubts about Jake Paul's mindset going into the fight with Anthony Joshua. They argue that Paul's casual bravado and bold callouts may betray a lack of real appreciation for how dangerous Joshua really is. According to them, Paul risks severely underestimating the threat. His relative inexperience and the steep jump in competition could prove disastrous. While some praise Paul's courage, Schaub and Callen believe this fight demands respect, discipline, and a sober assessment of risk qualities that they worry Paul may be overlooking. Several analysts have suggested that Jake Paul might have a real chance of knocking out Anthony Joshua in their bout.
Done enough sparring, getting hit, that you just know. You're talking about Olympic gold medalist. I don't think people understand how good Anthony Joshua is. They see him against Usyk, or they see him against Ruiz, and they're like, oh, he lost. And they think somehow that because he's nice, that he's not an absolute killer.
I don't think everyone
life.
knows that, B.
A lot of people are like,
You're hanging out with the wrong people then. I mean,
6'6", 245. Let me just say this. It's a different ecosystem. Look, Jake's a thick kid. 227 is a lot. It's heavy. He's big. He's athletic. But this is different. You're not Usyk. You ain't Usyk.
Jesus.
You're talking about a very different athlete.
Do you want me to go now?
Please.
With all your rambling here?
Please.
Dude, first of all, before I go in on the cojones on Jake Paul, you have got to.
That's what I said.
Whatever the fuck your criticism of the guy is, whatever. The cojones, the huevos on this fucking kid.
I agree.
To step in there with fucking Anthony Joshua is insane. He deserves all the money.
With 14 ounces.
And what he's doing is flipping boxing on its fucking head. And this is exactly what he's there for. He's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. Kudos to him. Kudos to him.
100%.
Now, what bothers me is when you and other people go, I mean, Jake's 6'1", 227. I mean, it's insane. The other guy's 6'6". Jake could be 6'10".
I know.
300 pounds of shredded. What you guys are missing the mark on is Anthony Joshua is a gold medal winner in the Olympics.
High level professional. High level.
No, hold on. World champion. So I don't like it when we're talking like, dude, you know, he's
it's
so
not
much,
a physical
so much
thing,
bigger.
it's a skill thing.
So I'll say this, and I'm not saying it's a fake fight. It's rigged, especially because you got Eddie Hearn involved, and they're using 10-ounce gloves,
10-ounce
which is a big deal, and it's 8 3-minute rounds. 10-ounce gloves.
It's terrifying.
That's what you do in professional boxing, heavyweight boxing, which those do nothing, by the way.
They do nothing.
What you guys need to understand is, if this fight's not fixed, no one's taking a fall, cut all that narrative out. But I will tell you this. If Anthony Joshua decides to take this as serious as he did the Francis Ngannou fight.
One notable voice is former world champion and trainer Buddy McGirt, who views the fight as surprisingly competitive given Paul's growth as a heavyweight. McGirt sees the matchup as close to an even contest, citing both fighters' size, reach, and punching power as factors that could swing the fight in either direction. He notes that in heavyweight boxing, a single well-placed shot can dramatically change the outcome, which allows an underdog like Paul to capitalize on any opening. While many still consider Joshua the clear favorite based on experience and pedigree, McGirt and other analysts emphasize that Paul's dedication, recent progress, and fearlessness in the ring create a scenario where a knockout, though unexpected, remains within the realm of possibility.
I said to you, Jake Paul is going to win this fight by knockout. You would think I'm absolutely crazy, right? But the thing is, it can happen. 10-ounce gloves, heavyweight, Jake Paul can punch hard. But do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not, mate. Anthony Joshua is an absolute beast, an unbelievable, highly skilled, highly trained, highly experienced professional boxer with power in both hands, and he's really good at finishing people off. And even though I really take my hat off for Jake Paul for taking this fight, I didn't really want to take it because of what's going to happen in the result of this fight, and I want to keep on this Jake Paul train. I think he's doing great, and I love his ambition. I love that he's trying to become a world champion and following his dreams and believing in himself. But at a certain point, you bite off more than you can chew. And this right here, he's bit off way more than he can chew.
The fight has attracted significant attention, and treating it as a fully professional bout has important implications for both fighters. Joshua has indicated that he may not throw his punches at full power, taking precautions to prevent putting Paul in serious danger. This measured approach demonstrates Joshua's awareness of safety while maintaining the standards of professional boxing. He aims to balance competitive intensity with responsibility, showing respect for his opponent and the sport. By managing his power and timing, Joshua ensures the fight remains legitimate and structured, rather than reckless, while still offering a serious contest for fans. This careful approach highlights the dual priorities of competition and safety that guide the fight.
In terms of the fight itself, all we know is that we're being told from those people that this is a fully professional boxing contest. I'd like to see the small print, to be totally honest with you, but that's what we're being told. We're being told that it's going to be 8 3-minute rounds. We're being told that they're going to use 10-ounce gloves, which are far too fucking small for Anthony Joshua to hit you in the face with when you're there. Listen, Jake's a good novice. Jake's a good novice.
Oh, yeah.
And if he wanted to have a legitimate career in boxing, then he would climb the domestic rankings in America, and he might even make top 50. He might make top 50. If you pick him right, great. But if you put him in with meritocracy and put him in rankings and actually make him fight the number 49 guy in America or try and climb up, he's going to get found out because he's a not a novice. Now, I speak from experience here. I did an exhibition bout with Shane Neary, a former world champion, and I was fucking 2 or 3 stone bigger than him. I was 5 inches bigger than him, very similar to AJ and Jake Paul. And I was a novice. I'd boxed, sparred and moved around my whole life, but I'd never been in a competitive fight. And we did it for charity. And we did 3 rounds. And at the end of it, I realised, and I knew it going in, that Shane Neary controlled pretty much every second of those 3 minutes. Pretty much every second he controlled. He put the pressure on me in 1 round. He hit me with the body shot in the 2nd round. And he caught everything I threw at him in the 3rd round when he said, go on, try and knock me out. Caught everything. And, you know, in a similar vein, Anthony Joshua controls every second of this fight that he wants to control.
Aries Spears recently stirred controversy by saying that if Jake Paul somehow defeats Anthony Joshua, it would mean the fight was fixed. Spears argues that Joshua, a proven heavyweight with a professional pedigree, represents a completely different class than the opponents Paul has faced so far. Given the wide margin in experience and reputation, Spears believes a Paul upset would signal something suspicious rather than a legitimate sporting result. His claim adds fuel to the debate over whether celebrity-style boxing matches can ever truly replicate the competitive integrity of real heavyweight contests.
Well, Jake Paul was supposed to fight Gervonta.
Now he's fighting, what's his name?
Anthony Joshua.
Andrew Joshua, yeah.
Anthony Joshua.
He gonna get mopped.
According to betonline.ag, Anthony Joshua's has minus 2,000 odds. That means you'd have to bet $2,000 to win $100.
If you think that Jake's gonna, what's his name?
Yeah, if you bet on Anthony Joshua to win,
yes,
you'd have to bet 2,000 to get back 100.
Yeah.
Now, if you put your money on Jake Paul, he's plus 800. That means that if you bet $100 on him and he wins, you get 800 back.
Let me tell you something. If Anthony Joshua loses this, the fight was fixed.
What do you think? Can Jake Paul really pull off an upset against Anthony Joshua? Or is the size and experience gap just too much? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.